Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world, welcome to Radio Works. And I'm your forever young host, Kim. Today I'm going to talk to you about treatment because we're heading into the festive season and a lot of us will be going out, heading off to parties and exciting events, such as the one Marina's holding for us shortly, the Authors Awards, which I'll be at. And when we're going to these awards and things, we all like to look our very sparkling best. And so I thought I'd talk to you about some treatments that can help you look and feel your best at your events and parties and such like. So first of all, this time of year, it's getting chilly and skin's drying, and maybe our hands might be getting chapped, our lips might be getting chapped, and it's just generally not a very good time for your skin. So that party season, we're not necessarily looking our best. And one of the things that we can do is upgrade our moisturiser slightly. So instead of using the same moisturiser you're using in summer, you may wish to switch to one that's slightly heavier if you're finding your skin drying out. The other thing that happens is because we might be losing a bit of the colour that we've got in the sun if we've been suntanning ourselves, which isn't very good for your skin, but we all know that we feel a bit nicer with a bit of tan. Unless you're my daughter who has beautiful alabaster skin and doesn't like the sun at all. So she wouldn't need to do this, but most of us who have been out and peeking into the sun a little bit might want to change the foundation we're using to a slightly lighter shade of foundation so that it matches our new slightly paler skin. And also we might wish to start using hand cream because our hands, as much as our face, are out constantly in the environment. Unlike most of our skin gets covered up a lot of the time at this time of year, but our hands and our face generally tend to be out most of the time. And so our hands suffer in the same way that our face does, and they tend to give away signs of aging as well. So we could be using a beautiful skincare regime and have absolutely gorgeous skin on our faces and decolletage down our necks and onto our chest, and yet our hands might be giving away that we're a few more years old than that looks, or making us look a few years older by being chapped and sore and maybe having signs of aging on them. So it's a really good thing to make sure that you use some sunblock or some SPFs on your hands as well if you're going to be out in the sun, but also to make sure that you're wearing gloves at this time of year to help stop chapping, and to use some hand cream. And you can get really good hand creams now that have anti-aging ingredients and are much more similar to a face cream than the kinds that, the cheaper ones, which are generally just moisture. But, if you're younger, then just the moisture is good enough. You don't need anti-aging ingredients if you're under 25. So I still recommend you use a hand cream though, just to kind of keep the moisture in your hands and to protect them if you're able to wear it. I know some people don't like to have cream on their hands because it's a sticky feeling, but if you can, then it's a good idea. And also you'll find that your cuticles might be, even if the rest of your hands isn't getting dry, you might find that your cuticles are getting dry. So obviously, if you're going to these big events and you want your skin to look beautiful, the first thing I would recommend you do is booking for facial. And facials, obviously, you can get nice hydrating ones and things like that. But this time of year, when your skin's beginning to look a little bit dull, one of the things I'd recommend is making sure that whatever treatment you're having involves a good level of um, exfoliation. Uh, Exfoliation is particularly good for people with signs of aging, or with pigmentation, or with any kinds of scarring or pitting, things like that. But also just to take off those sort of dead skin cells that are hanging on our skin, because maybe cold weather or the central heating, things like that. Um, so yes, a facial is a really great thing to do, and you could have a hydrating one. Often they put on one of these masks which pushes the product right down into your skin, and they're rather wonderful. I was doing one of those kind of facials yesterday, and you put on a whole mask and you leave it on top of the client, and it's got weight to it. There's something very relaxing about having something on top of your face which covers your eyes, so you can't. It removes some of your senses, so you can't actually be thinking about everything that you should be doing. You know, you've got no choice. All you should be doing is laying there on that couch, and they're great for people as long as you don't suffer from any kind of, claustrophobia. Then they're great treatment to have. If you do suffer from claustrophobia, they're not recommended. So if you do, then just tell your therapist and have some alternative treatment, because if you don't want your eyes covered up, that would be a bad idea. But yeah, so I'd suggest you book in for a facial and try and find one with a good level of exfoliation and hydration to really boost your appearance. And the other thing that you'll find on the market these days, which is brilliant for making your skin look fresh and dewy and sparkling, ready for these lovely events, are skin replenishing oils. Lots of companies do them. Quite often they have things in like phyto oils, and which are from young plants, also from vitamins and things like that. So they're really, really good for helping to refresh our skin, make us look um, clear and fresh and younger. So one of those is a really good thing to invest in. Quite often you can put a little bit of it on after your makeup to refresh and make your skin look nicer during the day. So that's worth giving some consideration to. The other things you can use that for are the spritzes, but they're brilliant in summer when it's cooling. But the oils I find at this time of year actually just add a bit more kind of protection to your skin as well. So I'd definitely recommend an oil at this time of year. So on top of your facial, um, if if you're dashing around buying the Christmas presents and the Christmas food and getting caught up in the crowds, even if you're not in the Christmas buying spirit, even if you don't follow Christmas, you get caught up in the crowds with everybody else when you're just going about your normal day-to-day things. So it's quite a stressful time of year for some people. And so perhaps a massage might be a really good option. And full body massage can be very relaxing. If you haven't got time for full body massage, then neck, back and shoulders is also good. But some people don't really like having the whole body touched, and a really good option for those people, and something particularly relaxing, is reflexology or a foot massage. So that's great. If you don't have time for a foot massage, a treatment, standalone treatment, and you are going to one of these fancy events, then a pedicure might be your choice for the day, and some nice sparkly nail varnish. But don't forget that pedicures and manicures are not just about the nails, they're about the hands. So if you're booking in for a manicure or pedicure at a proper salon or a spa, something like that, then what you're going to get is basically a facial on your hands and feet. They'll be, clearing off the dead skin cells. They'll be working on those cuticles that I was just saying this time will be getting quite dry. And so they might use a scrub on these areas. They might just trim the cuticles to make them neat and tidy and take away the dead parts. And they'll file your nails, put oils on to make them in good condition. Might use a mask on your hands and your feet. They might put them into mitts, do all kinds of wonderful kind of conditioning treatments for your hands and feet. And the polish is just a last minute thing. If, on the other hand, you want the big fancy sets of nails, which everybody seems to want these days, you could go to one of the nail bars. If you're going to do this, though, I'd be really careful. Personally, that I see hundreds of nail bars around, and quite a lot of them advertise sets of nails for £20. And I can assure you that if you are getting a set of nails done and they're only costing you £20, then you're not getting very good ingredients put on your fingernails. And the girls that are doing it are possibly using tools to take off the top of your nail, which can destroy the nail plates by taking off too many layers. But quite often they're using, cheap versions of the actual products, which can be damaging. So I would avoid those. Find somewhere that's doing a well-known brand of nail polishes. So there are lots out there. Shellacs and Biosculpture and things like that are more soak-off ones, but even the acrylic ones, there are better quality ones out there. If you see somebody who does it all by hand, then you're less likely to destroy your nail plates, and your nails are likely to stay in better condition in the long run. If you're just having a one-off set, it's probably not going to cause you a major amount of trouble. But if you're keeping them on constantly, then you do want to make sure that you're having a good product. The other things that are really, really de rigueur at the moment are your eyes, anything to do with your eyes. So extensions, now eyelash extensions. You can get the very, very natural looking ones, which are full sets of individual lashes which are attached to your actual eyelashes. These ones will normally last 4 to 6 weeks if they're put on properly, and cost quite a lot of money to put on because they take quite a lot of time to put on, and the products are quite expensive. So if you're paying anything downwards of £50 for that, then it's a complete bargain. You can also get little fans that just stick in the corners of your eyes. These are much quicker to put on. They've got about 5 lashes each. They look less natural, but they're a bit more party, and you can just wear them for the weekend. Also, some people use a few individual lashes just in the corners of your eyes, call them weekend lashes or something like that, and they're not stuck on as well as the full sets, but they still use the same lashes. They're very natural looking still, and they're just designed to make your eyes pop for a party or a special occasion, and they can be quite a nice thing to do. And the other things that they'll probably do if you're having the lash extensions is they will probably tint your eyelashes. Tint's great on your eyelashes because a lot of people have a lot more eyelashes and a lot longer eyelashes than they realise. And when you tint them, then suddenly you can see the blonde ends and all the tiny little blonde fine lashes that you don't normally see, and they stand out because they've been tinted. So it just makes them look a lot fuller and a lot longer. That's a great thing to have done at this time of year. But obviously, if you wear mascara, this isn't necessarily going to be something that's important to you. But the on-trend thing to do now is have your brows done. And brows are a really big statement in fashion at the moment. They need to be dark. A lot of people wear them quite a lot darker than their hair, which was a big faux pas when I was young. Everybody wanted to look blonde, and if your eyebrows looked dark brown, people thought that looked odd, which of course in natural terms it does, but it's the way to go these days. Kim Kardashian and people, you know, are trendsetters, and they've got these kind of very striking, quite dark eyebrows because you know, she's got dark hair, so dark eyebrows naturally are what she has. But we can achieve this look with some tint and get the really nice shape with some wax. Some people are still into threading, but this will give you a much flatter looking brow than the waxing. With the waxing, they can create a real high arch for you, and particularly if you have the tint done as well. And there are lots of products on the market which weren't available when I was young. You just did eye pencil, or you could use a little bit of your eyeshadow. But you can your eyebrows these days, and there's wax to hold it all in place. Or you can get a thing like a mascara, which you can use to hold them in place, which is sometimes a bit easier to use. But the waxes and brow colours quite often come in sets, which you can buy, and a therapist can show you how to use to get a really nice shaped brow for yourself. And you know, these treatments will last about 3 weeks. So if you want these things done, they're great to have done quite soon before your big party. But don't forget that you might end up with a little red patch above your eye where they've done the waxing. So make sure that you go a couple of days before your party. And make sure that they put on, if they're going to tint your eyebrow, they absolutely must tint it before they start removing any of the brow. If they come near you with a pair of tweezers or start waxing before they put any tint near you, do not let them put tint on that area, because the tint will be newly waxed skin and can actually also cause tint to go into the newly opened follicles and give you a smattering of dark brown bits if they're a bit careless. So don't try doing it yourself. This is definitely, if you're going to shape it yourself, then go get it tinted professionally. You don't want odd coloured eyebrows. You don't want brows spread all over your face. You want it definitely on the hair. And make sure that they also offer you a 24-hour tint before skin test before they tint you, because some people can be allergic to the tint. So so that's about your brows and things like that. A quick word on your lips, which also could be chapped. And what I'm going to say about this is that a lot of people use lip salve, which is a great thing. But make sure that you don't use a lip salve which has got a lot of petroleum jelly in it, or which is mostly petroleum jelly. You're much better off using one that's got natural ingredients in, such as shea butter, something like that, because the waxes are natural, and your skin's used to kind of having those on, and also our bodies can metabolize them. If you use petroleum jelly, our bodies don't metabolize it, and so not only are they not so good for your skin, so they're not so nourishing, and they can create an actual problem in your skin, that it doesn't produce its own natural moisturizing factors anymore. So in actual fact, whereas your lips are used to producing moisture to keep themselves healthy, what will happen is that as you apply the petroleum jelly to your lips, our bodies realize they don't need that extra moisture, so they stop producing it. So actually it's counterintuitive. Using these things doesn't help you have more moist skin on your lips. It actually makes it less moist, because your body stops producing the natural moisturizing factor it should. So that's the first thing it does. But secondly, it actually hangs around in your bowel, because we don't metabolize it. So people that use it all of the time quite often have sort of 8 sticks worth of it left in their stomach after, weren't there, throughout their digestive system after a while. And on a yearly basis, I think this is approximately 8 sticks. Although don't quote me on that; that might be a completely wrong figure. But yeah, the idea of licking petroleum jelly off of our lips and then it just sitting around inside of us for years to come is not a very pleasant one. So definitely look out for lip balm with lovely natural ingredients in, such as shea butter, carnauba wax, any of the kind of waxings that are natural, beeswax if you use food products. So those things are good and healthy for your skin, whereas the petroleum jelly, it comes from petrol as it sounds, so it's not designed. Our bodies are not designed to use those things, so avoid those. And yeah, in terms of colouring, sparkle is the way to go. Everybody this year at the beauty shows had massive sparkly kind of displays, and it's not only the nails that are sparkly this year, but also the lips. You can get these ones that look as though people have encrusted their lips in pink sugar, which is very pretty on the young girls, and possibly I won't be wearing it. I think I'm a bit too old for the look, but it was quite something to behold, with the young ladies wandering around the show with various different colours of sparkle pressed on their lips, and it looked like a confection of glitter. So yeah, so sparkles are the way to go. And although I might suggest that maybe a full-on set of lips would be too much for me, I'm definitely not beyond wearing a little bit on my eyes and definitely some on my nails. So I'm going to have some fun with that this year. And also, reds are still quite in this year, and they're always very classy at a big fancy event. But the very nude colours are also still around, and they can be nice too. So anyway, I'm going to sign off for today, and next week I think I'm going to be talking to you a little bit more about how to do makeup. I think I might do you a makeup masterclass. So if you'd like to join me next Friday, I'm going to be here with the makeup bag, and I'm going to be talking to you about mineral makeup, which is something I said I would do a couple of weeks ago. So come and join me on Facebook, and if you enjoy listening to me and would like to vote for me, I'm going to be presenting my new book at the Authors Awards coming up later in December. So come along to Radio Works and vote for me. Until next week, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is your forever young host speaking to you from Radley in Hertfordshire. And from Radio Works, goodbye.